Obedience brings blessings. Disobedience brings cursings. Whoa. So let's go for obedience.
Excuse me.
And burps. Hey, why not? Let's do the other end too if we can.
Yeah, this is not right after lunch, people.
Your turn.
Yes, I'm clearing my throat.
Hi, babies.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you very much that we're able to be together. We thank you that all is well and that we are able to be here in this house. We thank thee for thy many blessings. And we ask thee to please help us to move forward as quickly as possible. We thank thee for being with us and helping us to be together. We thank thee for this chance to read thy word. We ask thee to please help us to learn and share the things that we have to know, and to please help us be able to continue on in learning about thee and becoming more like thee. We say these things and do so humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay.
Baby's having fun on stairs.
Chapter 28. If the children of Israel are obedient, they will be they will be blessed. That is a bit of a tongue twister if you try to say it too fast. Temporally and spiritually. If they are disobedient, they will be cursed, smitten, and destroyed. Yippee! Diseases, plagues, and oppression will come upon them. They will serve false gods and become a byword among all nations. Fierce nations will enslave them, and they will eat their own children and be scattered among all nations. That is not a curse that I want to ever have to worry about.
Agreed. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
And all these blessings shall come on thee, and overtake thee. Interesting way of putting it. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Can you be a little noisier?
Sorry.
It's okay.
Blessed shalt be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep. Go ahead and read.
Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Oh, blessed shall be thy basket and thy store is a kneading trough.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
A little.
Yeah, so the cattle also is just beasts in general. Comest in and goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways.
The Lord shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand in unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways.
And all people of the earth shall see that thou art by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. What?
Called by the name of the Lord.
Oh.
Yeah, so we take on us the name of God.
My bad.
It's okay. That is an important thing to remember, that we are called by the name of the Lord because we take on us his name. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body. Okay. Birth control. Intriguing. So having children, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, and in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto the land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. You will be the one who has other people get into debt with you. You will not be the one who will be in debt to others.
Yeah.
Which we have not been doing as of late.
And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the worlds which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, or to go after other gods to serve them.
Interesting. Oh, don't, this is another. Don't add or remove from this. Follow the laws correctly and completely. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
That is an interesting way of looking at it. The blessings will overtake you and will fill you beyond measure, or the curses will overtake you and drag you backward and tear you apart.
Makes sense.
Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land,
Oh,
the increase
did I
of
not?
thine
I'm
kind, and the
sorry.
flocks of thy sheep. The Lord shall send upon the cursing
Whatever.
vexation
Cursing vexation, yes.
and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. Ooh. Wow.
That's an interesting statement.
Brass is also, because of the copper, it is also...
Toxic?
Yeah, it's sterilizing. It really... It does bad things.
The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed.
You'll have sandstorms rather than rainstorms.
And maybe ash as well.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
Wow. I mean, this is kind of horrible. We've got the first 4th to 3rd of this chapter going, hey, you'll be blessed and everything will be great. Go for it. Keep going.
Now here's your warning if you do something wrong.
And the rest of it is just, man, you guys are so screwed.
Don't do drugs. Stay in school. This is an awful lot of rules. Follow them and you're no fool.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto the fowls of the air. Did you read that? And
yes.
Okay. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt. And that is the boils. Ooh. Yeah, that's no fun. And with the hemorrhoids or tumors. Ooh. Yeah. And with the scab and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. Cancer, I guess.
Yeah, basically. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
What's he going to do? Dump mercury in their blood?
Maybe.
And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
Spoiled evermore from 29, robbed continually.
Makes sense.
I mean, look at King Noah. When he was killed, and was it Omni that took over after him, that was a descendant of, he wasn't directly related to Noah, but anyhow, they had a 50% tax, and the they would come in and forcefully take what they wanted because
Yeah.
we'll take half of whatever, and that's what it is. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and thou shalt not be restored to thee, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall no might in the land there shall be no might in thine hand.
There will be no power to prevent it. So your children will be taken and made slaves or whatever.
You will have no power to stop it.
And the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt only be oppressed, English, and crushed alway.
So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. Ooh.
Ow.
Yeah.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a statement of don't do this, like Aesop's fables, and a byword, or a curse word, I guess, among all the nations whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it.
Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them.
Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast his fruit.
Do you know what that means?
Make it fit the ground or fall.
It will. The allegory of the olive tree in Jacob 5 is all about the wild fruit that is inedible. So this will be the fruit that it makes will be either all seed or it will be bitter and nasty instead of properly flavored and stuff.
All right.
Man, olive oil's been around for years.
Oh, millennia.
Really?
Yeah, it's been around since before. Well, it was part of Adam and Eve's eating, probably.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Olive oil is very, very important. It's like
Yes.
salt.
Just about. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Daddy, made me yawn.
Yep. That reminds me of Solomon's son or grandson or someone right after that. He has a visitor from Babylon come in and he says, "Hey, look at all my wealth." And the priest comes in and says, "How much did you show him?" The guy's like, "Oh, I showed him everything. All of our money, all of our wealth, all of."
He's about to take it.
Exactly. Now that he's seen that, it's going to him.
Don't be showy about what you have.
Yeah.
Looking at all those people who have an excessive amount of clothes, shoes,
Jeez. And
multiple cars.
Half the time or more, it's due to debt.
Yeah.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Thou shalt not lend to him.
Oh, and thou shalt, okay. Thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Ooh.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkened.
You didn't hearken.
Thank you. Not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Because thou servest not the Lord with thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
So even there, it's predicting the Medes and Persians.
Yeah. That
language. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old. Ooh, they're going to wipe out the old people, nor show favor to the young. They'll only want the strongest.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the incense of thine kin, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. Basically,
increase of thy kind. The cattle, yes.
Basically, they don't want the young and the old, the ones that they have to care for. They want those that they can immediately put to work and don't have to worry about.
That are good slaves.
Yeah.
But think about this, not from the if the time in Babylon, or whatever it is for the people right around them, Philistines, stuff like that. Think of this for after Jesus died and was resurrected, of course. They were still oppressed. They had the Germans come in and start wiping them out. They had the Russians kick them out of their land, like in Fiddler on the Roof. They had, all of these things happen because these people have been classified as horrible, pitiful people, and we have no respect for them. We should have respect for everyone, but, how many people have come in and just destroyed the Israelite nations that they knew about? Because, think of how many people have said, those Jesus killers, 1,000 years after Jesus was dead and resurrected. We had nothing to do with that, but yet they're still called Jesus killers. Anti-Semitism at its finest, I guess. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest, throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
Or distress. When you are in the distress, in the straight and narrow path, isn't that it's not curving, it's that it is tight and narrow, and you can only go through it one way. And wow, that's a nasty and horrible prophecy right there. That you're going to have your children for supper. Ew. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left for him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
Wow. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter,
and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. This is disturbing.
Yeah. Can you imagine being so hungry you start looking at your own children saying, which one could we have for supper?
To be fair, there was actually something in history sort of like this.
There's been several times.
Yeah, but the first one that comes to mind with me is in Rome. With the Colosseum, they would often have people die to lions and such, and people started buying the corpses for food.
Wow.
Yeah.
There is also...
I have one too. When the Native Americans were starting to see the white faces come, one man ate his wife and children, but everyone knew about that and burned him to death, and they said that's kind of what made Native Americans kind of dislike us.
There's lots of things, but another thing that is not well known, but it has been documented that there were burial fields during World War I and or II, and
They got dug up, didn't they?
yeah, people would find hands left away from a corpse because the arm was removed because this much is really edible, but the hand and the shoulder really isn't. Stuff like that.
What about the time when the plane crashed and they had nothing to eat?
Let's
so
not
they were
talk.
arrested?
Can we
Yeah,
stop talking
that's-
about this now,
Yeah,
please?
That's the movie Alive, and it is based on a real story. There have been many times where people have gone, yeah, let's do that, and usually it
Happened in
wasn't
Fallout
because
2.
people were alive. I mean, even the Donner Party, the only time that someone was killed was a couple of prejudiced rear ends shot some Indians, but
It happened in Fallout as well.
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of stories and plenty of incidences where you can say, yeah, that probably happened, and it just, yeah. Anyhow, let's move on. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law, think you were out of the bad stuff, that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God.
Thank goodness we're out of it.
Yeah.
Then the Lord will make
Jehovah.
thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues of long continuance, and sore sickness and of long continuance. Maybe we're not quite out of it yet.
Well, the
Right.
Lord thy God is, the Hebrew is Jehovah. But I'm laughing because the plagues are wonderful, great. No, it's they're amazing and powerful. They're wonderful in that they happened, but it's not wonderful to be in them.
Context.
Yes, it's the Ollivander thing. The what was the line? The two wands. Harry Potter had one, and Voldemort had the other. They do wonderful things or big things, whatever it was.
Don't know.
Terrible, great things. Terrible but great. And Harry did wonderful and great things. It's that kind of a thing. The great and terrible day of the Lord. It's going to be great, but it'll be terrible in that the people who are going to be shut down are going to be pretty sad. But it's that kind of a thing. Plagues can be wonderful in their amazing power, but yeah.
Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee.
I don't want something to stick to me that's not happy. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God.
And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you, rejected, rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you. That's an interesting way of putting it. He will be happy to destroy you because you've been so rebellious and bad, and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all the people from the one end of the earth unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, and that's for sure. Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind, or anguish of soul. And that is so true. It has been true of people from the Israelite nation or Jews, since we don't know a whole lot about the 10 tribes. But it's also for anyone who is a Christian that the majority of the populace has said, we hate Christians for whatever reason, good, bad, or indifferent. And it has become anyone who is a follower of God can receive these curses because sometimes people just bring it on themselves.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even. I didn't want to wake up this morning. Can we just go back to bed and have it be done? And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning.
For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. I know I cut you off, but...
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Ooh! Okay, into captivity, symbolized by Egypt. You will have the captivity that you've had in Egypt.
But you will not be bought.
Dang, you'll just be a slave, and nobody really wants you, but...
Might as well use you.
Yeah, it's like in there was a railroad built in Africa. I don't remember exactly which one it was. One in the Congo, maybe, something like that. They would literally go to tribes in the region, chain them all up, men, women, and children, and bring them to this railroad, entire towns and villages, and just bring them there and say, do this. And the people wouldn't understand because they've never seen, a railroad to even have a concept of what they were doing, much less the actual actions. And they were killed because
they couldn't do it.
And they got sicknesses from, the people who were immune to smallpox or whatever.
Yeah.
They wiped out huge, vast numbers of people in Africa because of this. Mm-hmm. But that's the kind of thing that he's talking about. You're going to get wiped out by sicknesses. You're going to get wiped out by all these people who just don't care about you because you didn't obey God, and so God isn't protecting you anymore.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a dark chapter.
Yeah, this is
potential trigger warning?
Yeah, this is a humbling chapter of we don't ever want to have to deal with this. Oh my heavens. Looks like the next two are going to be got short chapters, so we might do those two together.
All right.
Wow. That's a chapter of pain. Mm-hmm. I dearly hope that we don't have to deal with that anytime soon, but I have a feeling we will.
Can I go hug my plush for a bit?
Yeah. We're going to go comfort each other, and we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully for better things to read about.
Amen to that.
See you then.
See ya.
Bye-bye.